I made a mistake. I should have staggered the accounts, so less popular accounts were posted between the more popular accounts, which would give this year's videos more balance. I'll prepare better next year. Hi, and welcome to, or back to my channel. I'm Kit, your friendly feminist cat lady spinster, and today we're going to have a look back at the accounts I covered last year in my 12 Days of Tradmas series, and for extra fun, I'll look at some of the comments I received. As before, there will be timestamps below if you really want that one video a day experience, and if you need or want to refresh your memory, I'll link the playlist in the cards. That being said, let's just get right into the last 6 days of Tradmas. I almost forgot my new disclaimer. I don't know these people, and I don't need to know them. This isn't about them, it's about what they promote. Now, let's get into it. Do I have to? Fine. After my video last year, I decided not to post about these two again, partly because they're Allie Beth Stuckey levels of hateful, and partly because they really do seem to thrive off attention, including anything negative. But I promised an update video, so here we are. First, let's look at the comments. It shouldn't be a surprise that Solie and husband found this video. I'm pretty sure they do search for their names.
Of all the people who are regularly discussed on Reddit, Solie and Andre make my blood boil the most. They're just effervescently hateful.
What really baffles me is that her parents are like, yep, this is fine.
You're right, they should spank me and send me to my room.
I won't lie, that did make me laugh.
Ha ha, this is hilarious. Thanks for covering us. I'm sure it will spread our message to even more people.
This is not the first time it has been suggested that videos about particular people will just help spread their message, and I suspect it's meant as a deterrent so people won't post critical videos. But that is why I only cover accounts larger than mine. And right now, the world is my oyster. Solie and Andre are such great examples of a godly marriage. You seem to be a very exhausting person to be around. I would not want to be your friend. I feel sorry for you. Maybe spend more time working on yourself than bashing others. I'm a trad wife. I love being under my husband's authority. I think it's sexy. And before you start, I grew up in a liberal environment with feminism. All that crap was a joke and got me nowhere. I realized this is not the lifestyle I want, just a bunch of lonely, ugly women that can't get laid and blame it on men. Also, you never see attractive feminists, just ugly women. Glad feminism is on the decline. I do love a longer comment. Let's start from the top. First, I just want to let everyone watching know they don't have to waste time feeling sorry for me. I quite enjoy my life. And I don't want to be unkind, but I don't think I want this person's friendship. I'm also not sure when I'm supposed to be starting. What you find sexy is your business. And I grew up in a conservative environment. Not really sure what that has to do with anything. And my personal favorite, calling a woman ugly because you don't agree with her. So original. Never been said before. Now, let's take a minute and imagine stating your glad belief in women's rights are on the decline because there will be less ugly women? Do these people think before they type? And finally, feminism is not about women who can't get laid and blame men for it. Grow up. This is just weird to me because Andre returned to the video months later to respond to this comment. Anyway, let's fast forward to the present. Recently, Solie posted a question to our Twitter audience. Question for the feminists. If I, as a woman, should have the choice to do whatever I want, why is it so bad that I choose to submit to my husband, stay home, have babies, and encourage other women to do so? I did respond, and it's truly beautiful that a man, one that I will bet Solie doesn't know, took it upon himself to respond for her. Anyway, after she posed this question that has definitely never been asked before, she began retweeting posts she agreed with and rebutting those she didn't. Basically, Solie has decided what feminism is, and she doesn't care that she's wrong. It suits her purpose, and that's all that matters to her. She also began having conversations with imaginary feminists, which was really something to behold. So let's just make something quite clear. Feminism is not about choice. Obviously, feminists believe women and men should have choices as to how they live their lives, but boiling it down to feminism is about choice is an oversimplification. That being said, we don't care how you choose to live your life. It is yours to do with as you wish, and though I think it's worthwhile to examine why you've made the choices you've made, ultimately it's your decision. And don't even try to play this game. No one objects to you because you're a homemaker or because you got married. It's because you post things like the following. Be a pick-me. Pick-me's get married, have children, don't have to slave away at a 9-to-5. Pick-me's have fun without losing their soul. The pick-me gets to enjoy a man providing everything she needs and more. We get to decorate, go on leisurely walks, and relax while our husbands work to provide for us. The phrase pick-me was invented by jealous feminists trying to shame traditional-minded women to act more masculine. In reality, they just suffer while they get played by men left and right. Incorrect. Pick-me isn't a feminist term, and it doesn't mean a homemaker. A pick-me is a woman who denigrates other women to gain male validation and approval. Also, the way she talks about men in these posts is not great. Unpopular opinion. Your husband is your boss, but like an attractive, flirty, and kind boss with king energy that you marry and then ask to have his babies. I used to be really into politics, but now I just relax while my husband tells me what to think. Giving birth is the pinnacle of female performance.
Men are taught to behave like women from the time they're babies. And then they ask, where are all the good, strong men? Well, y'all didn't raise any.
There is so much wrong here. First, if a woman is looking to date, she wouldn't have raised the man in question in the first place. And second, only women are responsible for raising kids? I thought only a man could raise a boy to be a man. Hilariously, Solie's husband posted a command to stop being outraged over everything, and they both proceeded to become outraged over things that in no way, shape, or form affect them. Imagine being so upset because people you don't even know call their dog their baby. And now for the real issue people have with Solie and her husband.
I honestly don't care if it makes people uncomfortable. I am a Christian, and we will make Christian values the norm. What's the alternative? Drag queens being forced on kids and LGBT in every medium? No thanks.
So disregard everyone else's rights and desires for their own lives to ensure they live like you? I can't imagine why people would have a problem with that. I don't give a flying flip about reproductive rights. I hope they get taken away. So-called reproductive rights are nothing more than an excuse to be promiscuous and kill babies. I wish Solie would educate herself, but that seems unlikely. Even if you, personally, would never have an abortion, reproductive rights are important. Reproductive rights include things like sex education and birth control, which are important if you want to lower abortion rates, which they always claim to want, but try to go about in the worst way possible. So no, Solie, you aren't being persecuted because you're a homemaker. People just don't like you because you have abhorrent beliefs, and rather than being content with applying your made-up rules to your own life, you want to force others to abide by them as well. At first I thought PF had gone offline, but nope, she's just rebranded as Vanilla Wife, which I'm just going to quietly side-eye that name. Anyway, she seems to have successfully immigrated to the States and gotten married, and I wish her luck because her husband gives a very distinct impression. I hope he's different in the real world, but oof. Anyway, let's look at some comments. I will be very excited to spend my life with the love of my life, knowing that he cares for me immensely and will provide for my children and I no matter what. My responsibilities are loving him and our children and creating a home for them. And when I die and leave that behind, God has an eternal plan for me, and I'm sorry you can't understand that and don't want that for yourself and other women. That's alright though, I'm sure you can find other fulfillment and I wish you the best. You have a very shallow idea of Christianity and what God wants a family to look like, and I'm again very sorry for that. 1258. There you go. That's all I needed to hear. I don't remember saying anything about God and what he wants families to look like, but okay. And if you're wondering what it was I said that was all she needed to hear, it's that I don't have kids. Feminists go on and on about how women can do anything men can do and how women can act in any way they want even if it is not feminine, and how they can be anything they want regardless of whether it is masculine or feminine, and it's okay to be attracted to and love whoever you want regardless of whether they are male or female. And yet another feminist belief is that it is okay to change your gender. But if you can do anything you want and act in any way you want as your gender and date whoever you want, why would you feel the urge to change it? Surely this is hypocrisy and shows the contradictions in feminism. This person is trying so hard for a gotcha that they didn't even make sense. No, feminism doesn't believe in arbitrary gender roles. That has nothing to do with someone being trans or gay. I recommended they check out some trans content creators like Samantha Lux and Sam Collins, but I doubt they did. Hey, this video is about me. I try to answer a lot of questions about my opinions and values and post them as well so people have an understanding as to why I think the way I do. That being said, I appreciate that while we obviously don't share the same opinions, you were still respectful while sharing your opinion about me. Have a good day. Isn't it funny that the person the video was about was the most polite? Anyway, let's see what she's been up to. The feminine cannot thrive when she has to work full time. This type of stressful environment diminishes her gentle and calm spirit. A woman can only be domestic, nurturing, and maternal in the correct conditions. In the correct conditions? But I thought all this was innate. Living with a man who wants a 50-50 arrangement is more similar to living with a roommate than living with a spouse. Most of the time, it's not even 50-50, and as the woman, you'll do a lot more than your husband. She gets so close, and then, rather than talk about why this is still an issue and how to approach it, women should quit their jobs and rely on a man to support them, because apparently men are incapable of housework. I am a woman. I am not a cis woman. I am not a birthing person. I am not a uterus owner. I am not a person with a vagina. I am not a womb owner. I must say, she is leaning hard into transphobia these days, and I don't understand how someone can deny their own humanity in an effort to make a trans woman feel bad. What is the point of this? Are they not aware they're saying women aren't people? Do they not know where that leads? In the past year, Bernadine has rebranded as Fearless Femininity, launched a dating course, and now offers advice. She's leaned hard into marriage and children since releasing Simply Smitten, which makes sense from a business standpoint, but she still finds time for the occasional banger. How unfortunate to be gay or feminist and willingly end your bloodline in your lifetime. Red pill and MGTOW are the male form of feminism. You can't change my mind. Feminism did not give me freedom, fulfillment, opportunities, or a voice. Biblical womanhood did. A familiar face declared, "The only trad accounts that are legit are Solie and Bernadine. Almost everyone else with a trad account is denying their true nature or coping with their less than savory reality." So if you see any trad accounts, they're a Solie, a Bernadine, or a liar. Good to know. And as for what her husband is up to...
This morning my wife had coffee ready with pie, gave me a back massage, readied my desk for me, tended my 5 children while I worked, kissed me like it was the first time. We just celebrated 11 years. Don't tell me it isn't possible. Ignore the naysayers. Deny them access. Patriarchy is possible. Go get it.
I guess they've decided to make Christian dating and marriage their thing, which makes sense. They've already done it, and it's more monetizable than white nationalism. Can't imagine why she stopped posting things like this since launching her course. Trying to attract a different audience? You know what's weird? When 2 accounts you follow repost feminine, not feminist within a few days of each other. I initially thought that, at first glance, her account is harmless, though the username should be a giveaway. But scrolling through her posts, yeah, it was a better choice to unfollow those accounts. It's been suggested that a wife will have no problem submitting to a husband that is genuinely loving her as Christ loves the church. While that sounds nice, it isn't accurate. First of all, it assumes that wives fail to submit because of what their husbands fail to do. Submission is not given to a husband as a reward for his obedience. It isn't earned by a husband who leads and loves as he ought. Rather, submission is given freely out of obedience to God's word. It isn't contractual, it's covenantal. A common misconception is that only wives with mature Christian husbands are required to submit. This isn't what the scriptures teach. Submission, rather, is a critical part of a wife's witness to her unbelieving husband. Fertility is a blessing to nurture, not a disease to be medicated. She has rebranded her Everyday Wife podcast into Feminine Not Feminist, and though I am very curious about the lies feminism tells women, I would be willing to bet I've heard those lies before and it's 2 hours long. I just want to say, this man was preaching about gender roles before he got married, which he did this year, and now he's preaching about Christianity as well, though he converted a whole 10 months ago. Anyway, let's see what's on his mind.
Masculine men don't want masculine women, feminist women, boss babes, women who want to compete for power in the relationship, women who emasculate, control, and bring drama.
I would love an example of what a masculine woman and a feminist woman are, and I'm pretty sure no one, man or woman, no matter how masculine or feminine they are, want the last two.
Masculine men do want feminine women, supportive, nurturing, and loving women, women who objectively make life better, women who bring peace and gentleness, women who are respectful and encouraging.
It's so weird to me that he's using a masculine qualifier, because I'm pretty sure that, excepting the weird feminine woman thing, are these not qualities that anyone would want in a partner? What do unmasculine men want then? Someone unsupportive and unloving? Someone who makes their life worse? This is so strange.
Feminine women don't want weak, overly apologetic nice guys, boys in men's bodies who reject the responsibilities of manhood, men who don't know what they want or where they are going in life, to end up feeling like his mother, therapist, or personal counselor, emasculated men that fear their own masculine power.
I'm not sure about the last line. What is masculine power? But yeah, no woman wants a nice guy. That's in quotes for a reason. No one, man or woman, wants someone, man or woman, who refuses to accept responsibility for their life. No one wants to feel like someone's therapist. This happens a lot in these circles where they act as though saying men should be able to express emotion without ridicule means a man must turn into a basket case. But no, that's not how the real world works. You do not have to make someone your emotional dumping ground. Men are capable of emotional regulation and common sense, which these folks tend to ignore in their quest to defeat a straw man.
Feminine women do want men that are unapologetic about being men, masculine men that understand the responsibility that comes with being a man, men who aren't wrapped up in boyish vices, men with a clear direction and vision, self-motivated men, to feel cherished and loved, to feel claimed and like his woman.
You don't have to apologize for being a man, just treat women like people. The feeling claimed is a bit creepy though.
Understand this. Many women don't know that they want to adhere to traditional gender roles until they meet a masculine man who knows what he wants and knows where he's going and offers her the opportunity to come with him. Our society doesn't show women that being a full-time mother, wife, and homemaker is even an option.
Being told that a woman just doesn't know something until a man teaches her will never get old.
Ladies, are basic rules, roles, and expectations in a relationship oppressive, or are you just wounded in your relationship with your father?
The arrogance astounds. And no, none of that is bad in a relationship. It's just when you say, okay, Laura, you're a woman, and so X and Y and Z are your responsibility, that it becomes a problem. It has nothing to do with fathers.
Modern-day feminism pits men against women, teaches women to dismiss the biological reality of being a woman, and keeps healthy families from forming. Modern-day feminism is fundamentally at odds with femininity.
He knows feminists marry and have kids. He's just ignoring it to push his agenda. I would like to know how men and women compete, though. Is it in the workforce? Or to see who makes the most money? Also, I'm so tired of trad folk trying to push biological reality on women. We understand we're not fertile forever. We never thought we were. Stop reducing us to our reproductive capabilities.
It's always the people that don't adhere to gender roles that think gender roles are a prison sentence to endure. The people who actually adhere to traditional gender roles are thriving, happy, and have functional, well-ordered relationships. Funny how that works.
Does he seriously not understand that if gender roles aren't suited to you or you don't want to adhere to them for whatever reason, then yes, being forced to follow them would feel like a prison? And now for the zeal of the recent convert.
You worship Carl Jung and New Age polarity teachers that can't hold down a marriage. I worship Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. We are not the same. You can try to heal yourself, do all the inner work, embrace your feminine side, love yourself more, take plant medicines, and try to integrate your shadow, but you will never find wholeness apart from Christ. While Christians fruitfully multiply, adherents to New Age philosophy are in and out of relationships, struggle to maintain lifelong marriage, and seldom have families and children. Ideologies that can't reproduce themselves die out. You are free to try to make your own rules to live by and come up with your own belief system to operate under, but why bother with this when God's way is perfect and eternal?
This is less scary than those that swear to forcefully convert non-believers, but the arrogance that emanates from these posts is amazing. I did think Christians were supposed to be humble, but I'm sure I was just taught some woke Lutheranism. I also find it interesting that he says people worship New Age teachers that can't hold down a marriage, but didn't Jesus remain single? And finally, Speak Womanese Today asks, you're shopping at your local food market and you notice this beautiful young woman from behind. How do you open?
I go on a schizophrenic rant about how toxic seed oils are and how she shouldn't be buying any brand from PepsiCo. I give her the name and address of a local raw milk supplier after telling her she needs to stop birth control because it's mixing with the microplastics in her brain and making her depressed. Finally, I ask if she's free and would like to watch Europa: The Last Battle later. This is the way, gents.
Conspiracy theories and a bold nod to white nationalism. Unsurprising, but I would like to note how this belief system emboldens men to think they have the right to approach women they don't even know and lecture them about their health. I've done 3 videos on this account, which I'll link below, and, well, who here remembers the infamous "it's not submission if you agree" post, along with the genius idea that you just think your husband is incapable, like a child, if you get irritated with picking up after him? She likens husbands to children a fair amount, albeit indirectly, and recently she posted an answer to, "So, he's just another child?" We all know how much I love getting my questions answered, so let's have a look. There are so many ways to demolish this very unoriginal argument to a traditional marriage. Usually it starts like this. The wife chooses to take joy in creating a sanctuary for her husband to relax in when he comes home from a long day at work. She usually does most of the housework and childcare, generally speaking. So he's just another child? No, my kids do chores. They run errands with me. They wash dishes and sweep and do laundry. My husband has earned the right after a long, usually 12+ hours day at a stressful job, as an adult who put in his time as a kid doing similar chores, to relax. Each member of the family gets their own form of relaxation, and this is my husband's. Now don't be fooled. He certainly does a lot when he comes home. He just about always steps in when the kids aren't minding me. He has a meal with us if he's there instead of at work. He fields questions and helps with issues of the day and home. He bears the mental burden of working and providing and the finances and all sorts of things. So yes, I try to make our dwelling space as comforting to him as possible because truly his work is never done, as neither is mine as the homemaker and wife and mother. It's simply not a competition anyway. I like how she tries to act as though she's not the one who put it out there that husbands are like children. Also, though at a surface read it looks like she's defending him, I still see some passive aggression. He just about always steps in when the kids aren't minding me. Just about always, Interesting. Also, this sounds like a miserable way to live. He's working 12+ hours a day, however many days a week, and then comes home to a house full of children. I know there are people who dream of that, but no matter how comforting BFB tries to make it, I'm not sure how a house with 5 or 6 young kids can be calm. Also, from previous posts she's made, it sounds as though they're still struggling with finances. But God will provide.
Have you considered that it is not the mom's job to pick up after her kids? Even a 1-year-old can learn to pick up. It takes a lot of gracious repetition and consistency, but it can be done. Mom will probably do it alongside with each child for their first few years, but a few years of investment should yield a child that can pick up after themselves in no time. So no, he's not another child. I don't pick up after my children. I am a helper to my husband and have no problem picking up after him or whatever else he needs or wants.
Except she does have a problem picking up after him. That's why she advised, if you get irritated with a husband that leaves his clothing beside the hamper instead of in the hamper, that you think of him simply incapable of putting his clothing in the hamper like a child learning to eat with utensils.
I just finished recording the voiceovers for this video, and it's just so sad how everything relies on a woman assisting a man. She has no wants, dreams, desires of her own. She was put on this earth to revolve around him.
And that's it for this video. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I would like to thank my patrons, and if you would like to help support the channel, my Patreon is linked below along with everything else. Commenting, liking, subscribing, and sharing are also great ways to show your support if you want to. Have a great day, night, whenever you happen to be watching this, and fade to cats.